Okay, well, anyway.
Do I have to be streaming mine then in order to do this? Like,
I don't think you do, but maybe. So I think mine tends to host it whether I'm streaming or not. I'm not sure. But in any case, so for those of you who've joined us, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a look at replay, so step-by-step replay with this game between White Bread and Slippery Slobs. That's the one, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah. And yeah, so we're going to go step by step. It's a request by one of the coaches in the MBBL online group, who, when we mentioned about doing a replay analysis, was really excited at the idea. Hey Percy, how's it going? So I'm here with MikeTheRake, who's current Midlands Championship Series champion, and also won the Rookie Wonder Award as a newcomer to the game. So he's shot to the top in the Midlands.
Yes, everyone else should feel really bad that they got destroyed by a noob.
And so he's going to be the know-how. He's the brains behind this. I'm not going to pretend that I know what I'm talking about. I don't think I'm too bad, but I'm definitely not Midlands Championship Series champion.
I mean, you taught me what I know.
Well, there you go. You see, it's when the what is it? When the student becomes the master or whatever.
I mean, that happened pretty early on.
So I've just got the game up now. I've had the coin toss, and
cool.
currently...
I've got it paused. I'm getting your chat up.
So I've taken it right back to the very start, because you can do it basically where it's... This whole thing is a series of steps, so it's just step-by-step deals. But as it is at the moment, I've just taken it back to start and I've paused it there.
There we go. Okay, right. I've got your chat up.
So what I think we could do is at the start of the turn, we can pause at the start of the turn and figure out what should be the sequence of events, and then see how it unfolds. That's I watched Andy Davo. That's what he did, and it worked really well. So the turn starts to go, right, what would we do? What's the sequence of events that we would have it planned out for, and then see what actually happens in the game.
Okay, sure.
I think that would be pretty cool. But I'm ready when you are. Let me know when you're ready to hit the play button.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay, man.
I'm just seeing if I am actually hosting, because I don't appear to be.
I'll tell you what I can do, actually, is I can hop over to your channel and have a quick look as well.
Yeah, I've just had a quick look. Let me just check I actually saved that auto-hosting stuff. Automatically host channels from your host list when you're offline. Let's do that. That should host. If it doesn't, then oh no, it's too bad. You're not going to get my 0 viewers coming over and paying attention. Okay, that's fine anyway.
Cool.
Whatever.
Alright, well, we'll see what happens. It's the thought that counts. I'm just going to get the chat up for me. Whoops. There we go. I've got it on there. Good. Okay. Not the ripping off Andy Davo in any way, shape or form. No, I don't think it's ripping anyone off. They're really good replay analyses.
We're going to do it without being condescending.
He's not too bad, actually. He doesn't do it with the other with the opponent. He only ever looks at his. Anyway, right. So this is just setups. So you ready?
Yeah, just going for setup.
Yeah, let's see how they set up.
Cool. So, shall we let this play out until the ball is kicked and the turn is about to start?
Sure.
Cool. Is this even going?
Oh, okay. It's gone back to the coin flip for me.
Yeah. Mine's just done the same. That's fine. Okay.
So if I have a quick look, so Slippery Slobs chose to receive.
I was going to say, once they've set up, let's pause there because I do want to give my opinion on the way that they've potentially set up.
Do you want to do that for each team?
I mean, we can do it with both. The way this is looking at the minute, though, I'm not liking this white bread setup because it's got this big hole in the middle.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, there's just a big hole in the middle there that a bunch of elves could just potentially run down. And yeah, it wouldn't be so bad if it was the undead receiving, but they definitely yeah. So there's just a big hole for the dark elves to punch through that front line, and then they can run a couple of players down it. I'll be surprised if the ball goes in a favourable position. I'll be surprised if that doesn't happen.
Perfect defense for white bread.
Yep.
Ouch.
Okay, that is really good for white bread because oh no, you know what? They just
decided not
use
to.
Perfect defense. Okay. I'd have at least closed that gap.
Yeah.
So, are you starting the turn now?
Yeah. So the turn's going. I've got first block. I think pretty much trying to do what you suggested, which is to open up that gap in the middle.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have hit that guy, but I think he needed to so much. I mean, that hit was fortunate because that guy, that one zombie, if he didn't go down, he could block the way. Now this one's blocking the way. So I'd have pushed that zombie across so that the blitzer on the front line who hasn't gone yet would get the block on him, and then he could clear him out of the way. However, because none of the dark elves have moved forward, there is no push at all. Because of the touchback, I'd have definitely been very tempted to give that to someone on the front line, and then you can really push the ball up really early.
Yeah.
But you know the ball's protected right now with a lot of elves there. The cage confused me a little bit because it's a very it's that kind of classic anti-leap cage which like you don't really need to worry about cage diving with undead so much.
Yeah. So I've just got to turn 1 for white bread. I've paused it there.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Like you say, that this cage here is leap cage, but then I don't really know why you would set up leap for a leap cage. The ball's protected. That's the main thing.
The one thing that it is doing though, it is protecting the witch as well. So if he wants to just make sure that the witch is is somewhere usable, it's not too bad for that. Because the witch is where the ball is. The witch can help to punch a hole for that to get through, and it protects the witch as well from a potential blitz from a white or something.
Yeah, good point. So as white bread, this is the position we're in with these dark elves now. I'm wondering what do you think you'd do?
So what we got going on here? So there's that blitzer there. There's a blitzer and a lineman on the left side. Are you looking from the view of white bread or the dark elves?
So I'm on the white bread side of the pitch.
Yeah. Okay. So on the left you've got like a little clump of a couple of dark elf players who there's a couple of punches available there. I mean, the annoying thing with the cage is that like the cage is actually, because you got the 3 guys on the front as well. The cage is hard to actually hit unless you use a mummy. The cage, it's hard to hit a corner with the cage. So I think like probably the best thing to do here is probably just try to screen off the cage. Try to I'll probably say have a mummy go like a like where the mummies are right now. They're both just like one square either side of the cage, and I think like having them maybe one more square, just to having them go out each one more square, which will then mean that if the cage tries to move down one of the sidelines, there's going to be a mummy there. But if they try to go down the middle, the mummies can both close in.
Yeah.
But then, like but obviously, if he moves out the mummies, he's going to want to have a bit of. He's going to want to close that gap, so he can close in that gap with. So he's got.
You got a couple of zombies in the middle of the field already.
He's got some ghouls at the back as well. I can use them to close in a potential gap there.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what happens.
Cool. Good to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to tell us when to pause, when to go.
Cool. So we've got zombies moving up, marking.
Oh wow.
It's an interesting choice. We've still got that gap in the middle.
Have you just had the blitz?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely really good now. That's getting a numbers advantage.
Yeah.
Is oh.
Yeah, I don't think that that's enough. Oh dear. So I'm just going to pause it.
Yeah.
So obviously just had that re-roll from, which was really unfortunate from the blitzer.
Yeah.
I would be thinking as a Dark Elf, well this is great, because all I've got to do is just push this annoying ghoul out of the way.
Yeah.
And I'm away.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a push makes it a dodge to get out, but if he was to hit it with a blitzer, he could potentially get 2 dice if he was to commit someone else to if he wanted to blitz the ghoul, he would have someone come down the middle to mark him, have another player mark one of the mummies, and then have a blitzer go into one of the squares between the ghoul and one of the mummies, and then blitz from there to get 2 dice. And good with a blitzer, that basically works out as a 55% chance of getting the ghoul down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in fact, actually, even doing that means that like the hole it doesn't make much of a hole actually, because then there's someone in the way. I know actually the ghoul's position isn't bad, but it's not bad for different reasons than you'd think.
Yeah. I wonder if it would have been worth, because you've got a guard player there, you've obviously got the witch, and she could move him twice. If you've got the guard player and the witch in the right position.
Yeah.
So guard player here, and then take out a couple of those tackle zones, maybe even with this lineman here, could just literally just run in there, take those tackle zones, 2 dice hits to push him out of the way, and you'd still have about, you still have 4 players, and then the 5th player, the ball carrier, could just run down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and start setting up a cage down here. There's a lot of dice rolls though. I don't know. Depends how quickly you'd want to get the ball down. Let's see what happens anyway. Play.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow. That is really unlucky. So that's Blood Bowl. Okay, so I'm just going to pause it there then.
Yeah. I immediately, I know exactly what I would do here.
Yeah, go on.
There's no question about this. Actually, you know what? Sorry, I've just noticed a skill. Because I'm not too. Yeah. Sorry. This one mummy, Roth the dispatcher. He's got guard, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. Yeah. So what I reckon could be done here then, either he goes for a 2 die blitz on the ball carrier with him, or he moves him into position to get the guard, which he could put it next to the witch, or if he did a go for it, he could get it next to the lineman, leap stalker, towards the back of the cage, which would mark the witch as well. I don't think there's much to be done about dump off for the guy on the back right corner of the cage. I think that's the only player that that realistically wouldn't be able to get marked.
Yeah.
But I think anyone else could definitely get marked, and then a blitz by either the mummy or potentially the white as well.
Do you think it'd be worth doing the blitz with the mummy, even though it's going to take a couple to go for it?
Well, it'll take one go for it. Oh no, sorry, it'll take two. We're moving 3, not 4. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Team Guardians. It's potentially worth it. I mean, to even get the mummy in position to give the guard assist is still a go for it anyway. It's just like you might not want to risk the 1 in 9, but then at the same time you get the blitz without committing any more players to it.
So either maneuver the mummy so that it's going to give a guard assist, ready for a blitz from the ghoul. Do you think?
I think at the very least the other mummy. I'm trying to see his name now. Akhenaten the first. I think he should base up the blitzers on the blitzers on the lineman on the front of the cage. I think he should move in there for sure. But I don't know what I'd do here. I'd either have the zombies on the left block that blitzer to free up the white.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. So you've got 2 dice there, and then a 2 dice again to free that white up for the blitz. But then
the thing I don't like about it though is that if the first one rolls a push, if the first zombie rolls a push, then the second one, then you have to commit a second player to the hit, and if they get a push as well, you either end up having the lineman marking the ghoul, or you end up pushing him further down your side of the pitch, where he's potentially in a position to receive the ball, which isn't that good either. But I don't know. I think there's a bunch of viable plays here.
I just see it's sad because there's an easy surf on that lineman as well. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. It's an easy surf. It's 4 blocks.
I suppose. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's press play then. See what the coach decides to do. There you go. Zombie moving up. We're going for a block with the white first.
Another KO.
Wow.
I think the block with the white was risky because it potentially marked the mummy.
Yeah.
But then because he had block and the lineman didn't have anything, it was a
wow.
It was a really favourable knockdown.
Decided against the blitz on the ball carrier. Another removal though.
Wow.
Ouch.
I think he hit the right player there, just in case.
Yeah, that was the guard player, wasn't it?
Oh, that was a guard lineman. I didn't even realise.
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that just makes even more sense.
Right, have a quick look. Yeah, that was the guard lineman. Is gone.
Okay. So
alright, I'm just gonna pause it, take it back here.
Yeah, I'll go back as well a little bit. Yeah, I'm very surprised with like the white and the ghoul on the right side have not moved at all. They've just been holding that position. Then the ghoul on the left as well. I don't think that ghoul moved either.
No. A lot of the players are static around the back.
Yeah.
I would have thought. I suppose there's a ghoul down at the end. Terrible Tony Calzone. Having him there, I suppose, is okay. I'm just thinking, if the ball gets loose, you want to have someone to recover it, to get the ball off to somebody to, I don't know, maybe have a chance of getting an early score. But then I don't know, would you want to do that when there's 2 KOs? Probably best to not give too many opportunities for them to come back.
Well, it's not even that. It's just 2 KOs and the injury. I mean, the Dark Elves are immediately down. They're minus 3 players. So.
But I don't see why the white couldn't mark. The white on the right hand side, what's his name? Baron von Batten, couldn't mark up Dirk Flanty. You know, that's a dodge that has to be made then if he wants to get him away.
I think it wouldn't have been a bad shout if the white moved up a square and then the ghoul moved round to the other side of him, so then he couldn't even dodge away. So then on the next turn, the white just gets to take a free hit on it at him.
Free hit,
and,
yeah.
Depending on how it goes, there's even a potential surf.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Interesting. So I don't know, what would you do as the elves at this point?
It's okay. You can't. It's like you kind of. I mean, every time I play Dark Elves against Undead, I mean, anytime I play any team that doesn't have a lot of strength, you just want to avoid those mummies, and at least with the elves, they can kind of do that. I think, looking at this, I would. So switching over to the Dark Elf view, you've got Drika Doomcatcher on the front line, the Blitzer. He is based with a zombie. I would block that zombie and shove him in between the two mummies. I would take a blitz on Baron von Batten, which would then open up a gap, and I'd try to move the cage up there. And then I think the Dark Elves need to try to score quickly at this point. They need to try to rush up, because 3 players down, and having a turn of them just stalling, they need to get their skates on, really.
Yeah. The pressure's on. That's the issue, though, right? Is that with the numbers down, how do you think they'll keep the ball safe?
Yeah, they can make a cage. I think they can make a cage. It'll be based with Mitrot the Ghoul, but like they can make a cage up there.
Yeah.
They can definitely get. They like if they do what I
or
said,
even screen. You know, if they didn't want to make the cage, there's an easy screen, isn't there? Really.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the closest players to the screen would be mummies, so you don't have to worry about them going around it.
Yeah.
The only player that's of any worry there really is the Ghoul. But I say, like, if the blitz is on Baron von Batten, and like even if that zombie is just pushed, there's definitely a potentially large opening for enough of the cage to walk through, and then all the players on the right side, you know, you've got a Ghoul and a white over there. They're all just going to be completely out of the action. They can potentially score in 2 turns.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. See what he decides to do. So let's play. Okay, Blitzer moving around there. The Witch. Okay, so it looks like they're going to be sticking around for a little bit longer.
Okay, so I'm really surprised by this. This is a very
Okay, let's pause it there at the end of that turn. Okay, so the elves haven't moved anywhere. They've reduced the number of hits they're going to take, but their position's not advanced at all. They've just reset the cage.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, compared to a lot of the other coaches in our league, I'm a lot more aggressive with trying to push the ball up. Like, sometimes it is to my detriment, but I just think in that turn, in that turn, Grimstick absolutely could have. He had a good opportunity to try to push forward, and with the positioning of some of the undead players, the only ones that were of any threat to the cage was a Ghoul without block. There was a mummy there. Where one of the mummies could get a blitz in, or the Ghoul, but then like I said, I think there was a big opportunity to get up pitch there, and where could they have actually got to?
He could have got pretty far. So with the ball carrier, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he probably could have got about 3 squares past the ball, a few squares past the halfway line. Maybe it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
How far do they move?
So
7. He's got dodge as well, so he could have risked the dodge to gain himself an extra square, just to be away from the Ghoul. And all of those players behind could have filled that space. The Witch is there, the Blitzers are there to help out.
The thing as well, the runner wouldn't have been based with the Ghoul at all. If you made a cage, the cage would have been, like, if you made a cage without doing go fits, the cage would have been based with the Ghoul, but the runner would have been away from still. but in the position I'm looking at where he could have been, which I think is 5 squares away from the halfway line, the runner could have been in one go for it away from scoring on turn 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you are. Interesting. So as the, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking as the undead player, I would just keep doing what I've been doing. Start basing and start removing players. Still have that guard mummy, which the elves have lost their guard now, and try and force the failed dodge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a look. See what. Were you going to suggest some moves?
No. I was just saying that they should. I think the undead should base.
Okay. Let's have a look. See what they do. Let's play. Yeah, looks like that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
That white's still not basing anyone.
Yeah. Like the undead being really conservative despite their despite the big play lead that they have right now.
I'm surprised that there's dice rolled before the moves are finished.
Okay, so he's keeping the 1 mummy free. The thing that's kind of surprising is that he's put the guard mummy in base contact, but the guard mummy doesn't have another player to use guard with, so that guard's kind of wasted.
So let's just pause it on the end of that turn. I think what would have been best would have if when the white blitzed, the zombie, if it had been across 1 square to the left, would have meant the white could have followed up, and the guard mummy could have actually moved into base contact with the ball carrier. Would have also been assisting the white next to the ball carrier, holding up the witch as well, and a zombie could have moved in, next to the witch. It would have been really difficult. Then it's a 1 dice from the blitzer to get the mummy off the witch from the blitzer. Zombie's got an easy 2 dice against the witch there. We've got a ghoul in the back, and I guess he's playing safety on this left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, the follow-up from that white just means that blitzer just gets a free 2 dice on the white now, which, all that does is tie up 1 blitzer for a turn, and considering the pace that the dark elves are trying to advance with, that isn't really the only thing that's doing is potentially causing damage to the undead team.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so as the dark elves, it's their turn again. I'm looking, and I still think that right-hand side that we were talking about before is viable.
Where the whites and the ghoul are, Baron von Bracken.
Yeah. In fact, they've moved forward now, so it's going to be even easier to get some distance between you and that ghoul. It's just that now there's a few dodges to make instead.
I don't think it's too difficult. But I think I mean, of all the players in base contact, you got the witch who has the dodge reroll anyway.
Yeah.
So the witch is a pretty safe dodge. The blitzer, I take the block on the white with the blitzer. Because that's just free. The other blitzer that's marked by the zombie though, I'd probably just dodge him away depending on. If I was to advance the cage and to blitz the white out the way, and to go through the gap that makes, depending on how all that goes, I would probably then as the last thing I would do would be dodge that blitzer away, and have him try to come around, maybe even mark the zombie just behind the guard mummy.
Who would you do the blitz with, do you think? Because I was thinking with that dark elf blitzer who doesn't have dodge, he would be a good one to do the blitz, to then finish his move a little bit further down, and he would be the first corner of a cage then.
Oh God, which?
So Alban Aldworth.
Oh, the one in contact with the
mummy.
With the. Yeah, it's just the problem with that though is that you do have the dodge away to start it off.
True.
But then I suppose if that fails, it doesn't open up the cage. I think I would start off this turn with the blitzer. Oh, hang on. That blitzer has dodge as well. I didn't even realise that. Yeah, I just realised that the blitzer marking the blitzer the blitzer next to the ball carrier, who has the 2-die block on the white, because he has dodge. Actually, I'd probably actually do the block with him. Actually, I do the blitz with him. I think because both he and the runner have dodge. They can both get away fairly easily. So I think they're probably the safe bets there.
True. Let's have a look, see what happens. So let's play. Wow. So straight away the blitzer dodges away from that 2-die block. We've got a blitz coming in, so he's decided to go down the left-hand side by the looks of it.
Gets down the goal.
Okay. Now we have the runner, just about makes his dodge. And is he going to pass the ball? Ends on the sideline. Okay, so we've got a Dark Elf screen on that left-hand side. Wow. Okay. I guess that just happens. Makes all those dodges there. I mean, I probably would have got that blitzer out of the way before I'd made all those dodges. Man,
Yeah,
okay, let's pause there. Okay, so he's decided to go the left-hand side, which I think's fair. Got plenty of elves there.
Yeah,
it's difficult, I guess, for most of the team to get over there. The undead team. So the mummies, you got a zombie there. He's obviously going to be going and marking this lineman, but yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't think that's.
I think the nice thing with going this way actually is that with his player's positioning, he naturally marks the goal that's on the floor.
Yeah.
I think the one disadvantage of it though is that he's really limited in options now for where to go from here.
Yeah.
And hasn't moved as far forward as I'd have liked to have by this point. But what I will say at the very least is that Grimstick has made a push at this point. Like he's made a commitment. He's made a gap for himself, and he's got enough of his players there. So he's got enough of his players there now. So this is a real chance to score. I don't think he can score next turn unless his blitz can make it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No,
Go. No, he can't. He's just one square short.
Yeah. So I mean, the disadvantage with this is that he's still 2 turns away from scoring.
Yeah.
Which does go in Undead's favour a little bit there. They get enough of a chance to get some of their players back. But because they have the 2 turns, the white and the ghoul on the other side of the pitch, they can both get into a position where they can potentially stop the Delves scoring in 2 turns time. Whereas I think if he made a hole on the other side of the pitch and pushed through there, he could have potentially got far enough so that if his position was threatened, he could have scored if need be. But that's not an option here. That in the position he's in now, because he's pushed to the sideline, he's very committed to this line of play, and he's very committed to this line of play. And he needs to keep as many players on their feet as he can to protect the ball, because he doesn't have a quick scoring option. There's not really any other options for where to go from here, because the undead can just close in on him and just shut down a lot of potential plays from here.
Yeah. I think as the undead player, I would probably consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I'd probably consider moving a zombie in to give an assist to the white. The white hits. I was even thinking the white hits Dreekar Doomcatcher, who's blitzer here to push him in, and then move the ghoul around. 1, 2, 3. Maybe go for it once or twice with the mummy, just to start trying to prevent any more advancing down this left-hand side. Try and make that so it's not a possibility to get down there by moving as many players as I could. And then you've got plenty of players stood around who can just fill in around the starting line of that wide zone to start to kind of crush in that side. But I definitely want to try and free up the ghoul who's on the floor, because he's got the movement to sweep round by the sideline and get somebody else. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the hit, 6, and then go for it maybe with the white. The ghoul can come round. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a couple of go for it.
I think if Tits and Wizards can get enough players in front of Dark Elves here, if you can get enough players directly in front of them to stop them pushing up further, then the players on the other side of the pitch will just be able to move over and close off any potential gaps. So I think there's a very strong chance that the Dark Elves are going to get pushed into a position that they just can't get out of here, depending on how this turn goes for Undead.
Let's have a look then. Let's see how the Undead get on. So let's play, see how they do.
Okay, yeah. So immediately the white moves, which is good. I think the ghoul should have. Oh, yeah, the mummy move. I think the mummy moving there is okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think the ghoul on the other side of the pitch should have moved first.
Oh, I'd re-roll this. Wow.
Yeah, that other ghoul needs to move. He's doing nothing.
Yeah, he really needs to go. I wouldn't do this blitz at this point. Gets a push, which is fine, and follows.
The unfortunate thing there is that I'd have really liked to have had the mummy where the white blitz from.
Yeah.
The white blitz from where the mummy's standing.
Well, now the mummy's not marking anybody. The ghouls move down, which is good. But this one block dodge ghoul isn't going to be enough to stop the elves from making their way down. Because you got the other thing is following with the white. So I've already started the next turn by accident. But I was just about to say, and he did it. Following with that white, you've got an easy 2 dice block on the white to push him away. You can just move somebody down, blitz the ghoul off. That opens a way for everybody, pretty much, to just come down the pitch again.
The good thing about following up with the white there is that it ties up one of the players, which means that there's less players more viable for getting the block on that ghoul.
Yeah.
But
I just think on this left hand side we have the one ghoul. There really needed to be somebody else, either behind him 1 square, or he should have, come across another square and had somebody join him on that side. Because that is just far too weak. That would have been for me. That would have been the priority, is blocking that route. Either, like I say, by having 2 players, one behind the other, 1 square away from the sideline, or having 2 players beside one another, one of whom was on the sideline. Everything else that moves in there then just reinforces that kind of stopper. But as it is, I think it's good he's got move the ghoul across, like you were saying, how important it was to move that ghoul down. But he's going to have a really pivotal role in the next turn for the Undead, I think, because it's going to be down to him to try and stop them from scoring.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's what I would basically get that block to move the white away, get the blitz to get the ghoul out of the way and open that space back up, and have some players move down to support the ball carrier, and just, I don't know, see it as, defend him as best as I could, and hope that this ghoul that's down here doesn't make a decent blitz. The white and the zombie over on this right hand side, that's huge amount of player value for one lineman, so I'm quite happy leaving him there.
Yeah. I mean, what what can happen there with the undead is that if the undead want to use either of those players next turn, they need to do the block on the lineman, and obviously the ideal one there to free up is the white. So ideally you want to do block the zombie, but if the zombie doesn't knock down the lineman, you then have the white tied up anyway, so that just doesn't help you. So I mean, the positioning there is good for stopping the lineman being able to do anything, but then it also stops both of the undead players from helping at all. And I think their numbers are what is needed right now to stall the Dark Elves.
Yeah. So let's see what the Dark Elves do then in this next turn. So we know they're doing this block. Let's play.
Yeah.
See what happens. Okay, that's a pretty important removal. I'm gonna skip that.
So I think that's a fair block. Freeze up the witch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you know
wow.
what?
Didn't see that.
I think that.
That is a good play.
I'd be lying if I said I saw it, but then as soon as the witch started moving, as soon as I saw the bits of the witch, I was like, is there a surf on her? And then I saw the power position. Like, this is actually fantastic for the Dark Elves. That was that was a really good thing for them there. And then they protected the witch as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I figured the runner would probably go in there.
I think they did a really good job there. Did Grimslick? He's and he managed to get that lineman away anyway. So I don't know if I would have moved him. I might have left him there because I think it was protected well enough. But I think he's just trying to. I've forgotten to pause it again. I think he's just trying to.
Yeah, I always forget.
He's just trying to stop the ball carrier being marked against that sideline. I think, which is fair.
But in honesty, at this point, I don't think there's a whole lot that the undead can do because the Dark Elves are in a really good position now. I think the best the undead can do, 5, 6. They can get the ghoul and the white in front of them, but then there's not enough players free to stop the Dark Elves just shifting to the centre and going up that way. So there's not enough undead players able to get in front of them now.
Yeah, because I think you're right. Even if you did manage to get a couple of players down here to stop them advancing directly forward, you just can't have. You've not got the players to get down here. I mean, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So even the ghoul who's up there can only get to about where the mummy and the zombie would be able to get to anyway. So I think we should see a score here. I think it's just try and remove a few more Dark Elves before they score at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the best thing for the undead now is to try to force the Dark Elves to score so they can get 3 turns to attempt to score, and then they can have their punches as well. Because if the Dark Elves end up stalling out to turn 7 or turn 8, there's going to be no reason for them to put any players forward. They'll probably just if they score turn 7, turn 8, they'll have the 3 on the line and they'll have everyone else back. But if they're forced to score early, they might still keep players up. They'll probably still keep players up. In which case, undead will have a chance. They'll get to hit those 3 on the line, and then they'll get a blitz on another player as well. So forcing them to score quickly now is key for getting more potentially damaging blocks on the Dark Elves.
The thing I'll say as well, and it's a bit late because we can already see what the dice roll is, I would have been moving those players before making any blocks, before rolling any dice, getting those players in, like you say, trying to put that pressure on, twist those screws. But as it is, as we're about to see, it's the block doesn't work out well for this zombie. Might be that he uses his last reroll, but it means that everybody's just kind of stood out in midfield watching the elves effectively. So let's play, see whether he rerolls it or not. I haven't got that far. He does decide to reroll it. Okay. It's just a push. Now move the players. Move the... Okay, good.
Yeah. I hope that white goes next to him. Yeah, good. So, sort of protects from the surf, because you don't want to see another ball getting surfed.
Yeah. That was really good, that surf. I did not see it until he started that process. Blitz from the mummy.
I like this blitz. Because that mummy's now... That mummy blocks a wall.
I'm pausing it. So yeah, that mummy's now
really
putting a lot of pressure on the ball carrier.
I'm really glad you say you're pausing, because I would forget to.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on that ball carrier, I guess. But from what I can see already, because he did it pretty much as soon as the turn started, Grimslick's going to look to just blitz that ghoul away and get a score.
Yeah, which is absolutely fair. It's a one die block, and it's a one die block with a blitzer. All he needs is a push. Well, a push or both down is all he needs really, and
he's got the reroll.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the reroll, and if he gets it, he's just got the score straight away.
Yeah, I think that's all I would do here. I wouldn't mess about.
But I think the Undead have done a really good job of forcing him to score there. I mean that was really good positioning, particularly with that mummy with the blitz. So I was worried about the potential hole, and then that mummy just came and sauntered into it.
Yeah, it was I agree. That was really good positioning there. So let's see how this Dark Elf turn goes and see if they manage to get the score. Let's play. Okay. Blitzer makes his dodge. Nice. Oh wow. And breaks armor.
Is he gonna...
Looks like he might be contemplating a stall. Wow.
I would like to see a block on this white.
Okay. See, that's big.
I want to see someone base the white and the mummy, so the lineman could have a block on the white. Actually, I don't think that's happening. He might do a one die block on the white.
Interesting. I wonder. Yeah, wonder if maybe he was thinking. Okay, let's pause there then. I wonder if he was thinking that 3 turns is too many for the Dark Elves.
Yeah. I think you give any team 3 turns, and you can expect them to have a good go at scoring. I think like Undead can definitely score in 2 turns, but I think giving them 2 turns instead of 3, it really limits it limits their options a lot more. It's so much less time to be able to push with. So I think if I was him, I'd definitely be looking to score on the next turn.
What would you do as the Undead to try and make yourself a nuisance here?
Smash elves.
Just smash a load of elves.
Yeah, you smash up as many as you can right now. You've already has player advantage. Wants to. I mean, the best thing I'll be looking for at this point, if I was the Undead player, I would be looking at this thinking, I'm conceding a touchdown here. I'm not even going to bother going for the ball. I'm going to hit all the players that I can. So that mummy would be smashing the lineman. I'd have the white would get a block on the blitzer. In fact, no, I'd go for...
You could move the mummy down to get the guard assist if you wanted.
I'd try to surf that blitzer. There's definitely a surf on with the blitzer. I think. It's a bit risky, actually. It's a bit risky, actually, looking at it. You know, I probably would go for the surf. I'd go for the block on the blitzer at least. So you get a hit on the lineman with Mighty Blow. You get a hit on the blitzer, and then you've got the other mummy that I'd probably go for it to get a block on one of the players. I'm not sure which one actually.
Let's see. Just smash. You just smash the players to pieces. Alright, let's have a look. Let's play and see what the undead decide to do. Yeah, I thought we'd have that as an early block. Yeah, moving the guard down. Oh. Interesting choice. Because he's not helping anybody there.
The thing I don't like from that first mummy block is that because he didn't knock him down, I'd have put him in a position to surf really. So I don't think there's much else can go on here.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the position he's put those players, there's no... So, interesting. Goes for a blitz on the witch. That's... so, let's pause it there. I really feel like I would not have done that because that ghoul is so getting surfed.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way that ghoul is not getting surfed. But I would have... The lineman that the first mummy blocked, I would have... as soon as he didn't go down, I'd have gone for the surf on him, just guarantee it off the pitch.
Yeah.
And make it practically 50-50. That there's a good chance that he won't be coming back.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting to put the mummy there because the mummy just wasn't in contact with anybody. Whereas if he'd moved across, it would have been a 2 dice hit with the white because he would have given the guard assist. So that was an interesting choice as well. Yeah. I really feel bad for the ghoul, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see if the surf comes on. I mean, here it's get rid of that ghoul and then score for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's play. See what he does. Yeah.
Oh, did he use dodge? Yeah, he used dodge.
Yeah, he used dodge.
Would not have, yeah, I'd have noped out of that.
He must be hoping for a 1 in 36, which he doesn't get. Oh. It's just a stun, which is lucky, really. Interesting dodge. Oh wow!
I wonder if he just didn't. Oh wow, he is playing with fire right now. I'd have like that. Score.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Let's pause it there.
Considering he has no rerolls. Yeah, considering Grimstick has no rerolls, I think he took enormous risks there. You know, doing a couple of dodges that. I mean, actually, you know what? No, I just realised all those dodges were players with dodge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really minimal risk. But I admire his testicle fortitude for lasting until turn 8. I would have given into the pressure at this point because there's too many potential blocks on.
Yeah. There are a lot of blocks here, and you've got that guard mummy is free. So that guard mummy could move in to help out the ghoul and the zombie. You've got the other mummy to help, but there's loads of blocks on here, actually.
I'm sure there's a surf on Dreekar Doomcatcher. I'm sure there's an easy. Yeah, you know what? There's an easy surf there because Mitrot. No, if he moves in. Is that a white at the back? So yeah, there's a zombie at the back. If that zombie moves in, he will have 2 assists on Doomcatcher with Mitrot, which will allow him to get 2 dice.
Yeah.
He can then push him up next to the mummy. Actually, no, because someone will be there. I don't know. Actually, there's a surf on here somewhere. There's definitely a surf there.
Yeah, he's really risked a lot here. I mean, 1, 2. If he moves the mummy Akhenaten the first, if he blitz with him against Dreekar Doomcatcher and pushed him down, I feel like there's even the potential to blitz the ball carrier with the white then.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Got the chain push there, and you could then move that guard mummy perhaps to. Well, I don't even know if you don't need to move him in, depending on how the hit went. The ghoul could then hit someone and push them. Hit the person who's in the way, maybe. I don't know actually. I definitely feel like you can reach the ball carrier here. But let's see what he does. Let's play. So goes for the one dice. It's a nice one dice. Blitz. Okay, re-rolls that. Interesting. That's. Just a push there. Yeah.
Doesn't get any surfs though, which, yeah, I'm always sad to see that.
Yeah, it's a sad thing. Gets a knockdown against that blitzer.
It's not getting through the armor either.
No.
I'd always want to breaks early. Okay.
I wonder if he's going to go for the 4+ dodge foul here. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So Grimslick's gotten away with it, I think. There. Just runs it in.
Yeah.
He was quite fortunate.
Walks it in.
Wow. With bloody bomb blobber. Oh, bomb lobber. Bomb blobber. Okay, I think Grimslick was, like you say, he was really playing with fire there, but he managed to get away with it. Gets one knockout back.
If he gets really lucky, he'll get the next one back.
Tits and Wizards played quite well there, I think, for the most part. I definitely think there was an opportunity to try and get near to the ball catcher, which would have, you know, been a 1 in 36. He wouldn't have scored.
I'm going to pause this after they've set up, just to see what's going on here. I don't like this Dark Elf setup so much.
Wow.
They're wet. I mean, they're still really far forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd want to see those Dark Elves a lot further back. He's got the idea now. He's realised.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit ahead of you, so I'm just going to pause it for a second. But yeah, I think he's moved all those players back just in case there's the one-turn touchdown attempt.
Yeah, I think.
But looking at that front line, I mean,
maybe you didn't realise what the turn was.
Maybe. Well, he's got a high kick as well, which is kind of a shame because that would have really helped with a one-turn. Doesn't manage to catch, that's okay. Maybe just going to go for a vanity pass after a few blocks, I guess.
You let us just play out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be smash some elves, try get a removal or two, and do a vanity pass for the SPP. Ooh, there we go. Ah, just a stun.
Interesting that he went for that on a dodge lineman. I wouldn't have hit a lineman with dodge with a player without block. That's even with 3 dice, it's still very unlikely to get through. I want to see a foul there.
Yeah, there needs to be a foul. Oh dear. That's it.
Why do you have a blitz on? Why do you have a blitz on the line? Oh, that's all he's got left. The only thing he has is a kick lineman, I think.
That's rough. I need to have a quick loo break. So what I might do is I might
I'll
disappear and you can just continue watching and commentating over it, or if you need a break.
No, I'm good to go. I mean, if you want me just to wait for you, I can do that. I can't imagine.
No, that's fine. I'll leave it on the live scene,
on.
and you can just talk through what you think about the setups.
Okay, sure.
So I'll only do 2 seconds.
Okay. Okay, so Dark Elves don't get the extra player brought back, so they are only going to 9 players. The Undead have healthy reserves. Okay. So it's a kind of a fairly kind of standard setup, protecting, keeping like certain players protected behind the line of lodgers, and so it's kick there as well. And one thing I always like to do with Dark Elves, I do this with many teams actually. I like to set up off center, so yeah. So where the Dark Elves are, if this were me, I'd probably like to set up a couple more squares to the left. Probably shift everyone 2 squares over. Maybe everyone that isn't on the front line 3 squares over, and shift the front 2 over. Just in order to bait the undead into either coming at all my players, or to go around to the side of everyone. And because he's got the kick as well, he can choose to put the ball either shallow in front of his players, or in the back corner. But I don't think there's anything wrong with setting up in the centre. I just really like to set up off centre, and because it usually messes with some coaches a little bit, just because sometimes some coaches aren't used to having those off centre setups. Are you back, Sean?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool.
It doesn't look like I missed too much.
I'm just at the kick now.
Okay, I'll take mine back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm at the start of turn 9 now. So I was just talking about how I'd probably look at setting up here, but with setting up off centre, but that's just something I normally do.
Okay, so yeah, the ball lands just behind the line of scrimmage. Cool. Caging the ball, that's nice.
I'm a little bit behind you. It's fine. Yeah, I've seen the cage now.
There you go, I just paused it for a little bit. Ooh. Have you seen the injury?
I'm just seeing it now. Oh.
Yikes. 54 as well.
That's really good for the undead. What's that, minus movement?
I think so. Look, actually. Yeah. Smashed knee. Smashed ankle, sorry. This ghoul on the left-hand side, Frankie Focaccia, he's not moved yet. He's just sat there on that wing. Looks very lonely.
Is it not for capture?
Is it Focaccia?
It's a bread pun. It's a bread pun. Yeah. That's... Oh, sorry, that's a
I was just, yeah, I've ended up carrying on into the Dark Elf turn, but I think that's okay. I think with the elves, I would just scream.
It's fine. I think we're right to play on here. I don't think there's much to go on right now. I mean, you know, what the undead have done there is fairly sound. You know, they've got their cage there. The mummies are pretty close to it.
So I've just paused it at the end of the turn.
Where you want them.
Just pause it at the end of that
Yeah.
turn, because that's really interesting that this left-hand side only has the one player.
You said, are you looking from the view of the undead?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So on that one side,
that left lineman, just the dodge lineman, which is interesting.
Yeah, but it is interesting, but if you was to commit to that side, the undead don't have the speed to really get everyone over there. So
yeah.
So I think like to move the last player that was moved on Dark Ops team, the Blitzer. I think putting him where he's ended is the right thing to do there, because I think some coaches in that situation would be tempted to fill out the screen and have two across everywhere, but I don't think two are needed over on that other side.
And it might even be a deliberate thing as well, because then it makes that left-hand side look a bit more appealing. And you were saying about sitting off centre, so sometimes draws the players to one side, and then you can force them to stay in that position. So it might even be that it's a deliberate thing.
Yeah, I think the most appealing plays here for the undead are to either to go that left side or to go the right side where there's a big gap.
Yeah.
But the problem with going that side is that the mummies are centre field. The mummies will be no help there. I think the best they can do is they can base slowly munch bun the dark elf blodger. He's a blodger, so he'll just immediately get away. So it's just going to be if he does get marked, it's just be hoping for a 1 of 36 to stop him from getting away. So can't even count on that.
I mean, it's probably the best thing is just to smash their way through the elves, really, because they've got the muscle in the mummies. They've got the guard mummy as well to help out.
We've got a big numbers advantage now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what they do then. Let's press
three players up, I think.
Ah, okay.
Oh, he is doing it.
So it's working. Wow.
Did get him down as well.
Okay, I think that's fair. Mummy's basing up.
Yeah, I reckon the ball is going to go behind that mummy. Between the mummy and the zombie. I reckon that's where the cage is going. Oh, no. There's a zombie right there, so that's not where the cage is going. Oh, is he going to go between the mummies? Yeah. So I think that's a little bit surprising, because he hasn't really committed to that side.
Yeah. And I don't know why that white is hanging back there either. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause it actually.
I think if he's not fully committing to that side, I think that was probably the wrong player to blitz, because oh no, sorry, who else was it? There's a Blodge Blitzer. It's just all Blodge Blitzers. Yeah, actually, you know what? That was the right player to hit, because the Blodge Blitzers, if you go after one of them, you halve your chances of getting them down.
Yeah.
So yeah, that probably was the right player, actually.
It's interesting though that there's this white hanging back here, and I suppose it's to try and stop the Dark Elves from coming round the back.
Yeah, I think he's not in too bad a location.
No.
So if he was one space forward.
Yeah, that's what Percy the Troll says. He's guarding he's looking after the ghouls at the back, protecting them from the two blitzers.
Yeah, if that white was directly behind the zombie, then slowly Munchbun could very easily hit Mitrot at the back of the cage.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yeah, I think that's alright.
That's fair. Alright, let's carry on, see how the Dark Elf turn goes. So they're now starting. So this will be interesting to see if the Dark Elves commit too many across.
Okay, so they're really pushing over there.
Oh, it's an interesting blitz.
If I was playing if I was playing Undead now, I'd be like, okay, there's only 3 players that haven't activated. 2 of them are on the right, 1's on the left. I'm going the right side now.
Yeah, so let's pause it there at the start of turn 11 for the Undead. Yeah, Percy's Percy said in the chat, the mummies aren't going to be moving, so the cage will end up leaving them behind. But I think that's, that's probably inevitable anyway. They're just trying to force the 1 in 36, I think.
Yeah, I think
that's their job.
Well, like, if the if white bread does advance to the right side, one of the mummies, I can't even see his name because things over there.
Oh, what you can do is you can go, if you click switch view and then switch back, that'll disappear.
Ah, cool, thank you. Yeah, Akhenaten the First, with a go for it, can mark both Seratin Fuddle Bearer and a witch as well. Yeah, he can mark both of them. I mean, they're both blodgers. Well, sorry, they both have dodge, so all he's going to do is mark them just for the sake of it. But I think it's very viable for him to move round, mark both of them, probably get a zombie around as well. Yeah. I'd absolutely shift the cage over to the right here. I think the Dark Elves overcommitted too much to the left.
I think they've outpositioned themselves.
Yeah.
Percy says that the idea of having the mummies holding players up while the rest of the cage moves is by design. I think that's right. I think that's fair.
I said I'm bang on. That's absolutely about what specifically though. I mean,
yeah, it's a shame that happened with the elves. They've come because you've got 4 players, which is half of the entire elf team in that left-hand wide zone. They're fast, but they're not that fast.
They're all a lot further over than any of the undead team, and like with the speed of the undead team, they just weren't needed there.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if the undead capitalise on that. By the way, Percy says the stopped clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, I can see.
I've started playing now, so got the zombie moving up. I think I probably would have put that zombie next to the witch, but he's going for a blitz here, which I think is fair. Maybe he would have pushed him sideways rather than back.
I hope that guard mummy goes in next to both the witch and the... Yeah. Oh.
No, he stopped just short.
Did he want him there, or did he... See,
1, 2, 3. Yeah, you're right. He could have gone there. That's a good point.
Yeah. Could have got him in nicely, marking all 3 of them. So I think.
Yeah, it's a shame
that mummy could have been much better with him.
And the cage also hasn't moved far enough to the right.
Yeah, the cage could have gone really far to the right.
Because he would have outmaneuvered those players on the left. So I'll just pause it. So we've just seen the witch elf has dodged away. But these players at the side who were potentially going to be out of it for the next turn, because I mean it could have moved quite a way around, and now they can just race round, get involved in the game again this turn.
Yeah, he could have very easily made a cage with Akhenaten the First being in the top left corner of the cage, or even potentially in the bottom left corner of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily could have made a cage quite far up. He did make it with him in the bottom left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he could have been within 1 go for it of scoring, I think.
I think Percy's saying it looks like the undead are playing for a draw at this point.
I mean, if I was undead here, with considering you got 1 KO, 2 injury, you can guarantee that your opponent's setting up with no better than 9 players after you've scored. I would rush to score because I'd rush to score. I'd get in fouls where I could because there's still 3 extra players on the bench. So you know, you want to, like, if you can get another Dark Elf off and score quickly, you know, they're setting up then with, you know, I say if you get another player off, at best they're going to be setting up with 7 players. At worst 7 players. At best 8. And then with like an 8 to 11 advantage, you can just start basing up everyone and just.
So really, you would be looking to then try and turn that ball over to get the 2-1 win. Let's see how the Dark Elves get on in this. I think for me, if I was the Dark Elves, I'm just going to be resetting up my screen, moving everyone round to the right.
Yeah.
So going back into centre field, which is where the ball is now. I don't know, let's see if they do that. Let's press play. So I've got a dodge there from the blitzer. So that's one part of that screen set up already.
Oh.
Wow, that's interesting. He went for the dodge there, because there's players who are free who don't need to dodge, who could just move around.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to say it's you know it's basic. But the basic thing there is just you do all your plays the Brenda Cold rolling dice first, and the unfortunate thing there is that he hasn't moved enough players back to the centre yet.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pause it at the start of that turn 12 for the undead. Yeah, that's really interesting that he went for that. I wonder what the reasoning was for that, if there was any, because like we say, that's the Leap Stalker and Alban Oldworth were able to just move around. I mean, you even in the centre of the field have Bloody Bomb Lobber. He could have come round as well to help with the screen. I don't know, it's really interesting that he didn't move any of those players. That right hand side wide zone is still wide open now. If anything else, it means that he can get into better positions than he did before. Especially with like the mummy can come round, that zombie can help out. We can get another blitz from the white to try and remove a player. We can really strengthen that side now. Can the undead?
If
all
anything,
three of those undead players in the left hand wide zone are free as well now.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if anything, the white in the left wide zone could blitz. He could either blitz the blitzer next to the mummy, or he could even blitz the runner behind the mummy, and then he can make a cage with the other mummy, using the white and his ghouls.
Yeah, so I think that's probably what I would do. Undead player, like you say, set up that cage using the mummy as a really strong corner. Go for a few hits in the process after I move the ball, obviously. So let's have a look, see what they do. Let's hit play, see what happens in the undead turn. Ooh. Don't know if that go for it was necessary, but sure.
See where he's where's he thinking of having his cage? Okay, is he having like a chunky cage?
Chunky cage. Nice and loose.
Okay, yeah, it looks like a pretty loose cage.
So he pushes this player away from anybody. Why not continue to have him be marked by the zombie? I suppose he doesn't want the zombie to get blocked away and then leave it open for the blitz.
Oh. So what
was the point of
what was the point of those go for it?
Oh no.
What does that white do? Being am I missing something? Does that white do anything by get there? Or
let's pause it there. Yeah. Start of the Dark Elf turn 12. Yeah, I don't know if he was wanting to maybe mark the blitzer with the white and then changed his mind after he slipped over.
Oh, sorry, was that a failed dodge or a go for it?
No, it was a failed go for it.
Oh, sorry, no, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong bit. It could have been that he was it could have been actually that he was going to do the second go for it, but because he failed one of them,
didn't want to try.
He didn't bother doing another one.
Interesting.
Maybe that's all. That's the only reason I can think of for actually doing that go for it.
I think that the Dark Elves are still in a really good position to just screen it off as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they can just screen this still without having to make too many dodges. These players on the left hand side, they really need to come back across because they're now out of the game entirely.
You know what? If it was me, I would try and surf that. I would surf that Blood Ghoul. There's a surf on with the witch with him.
Yeah.
I would absolutely go for that surf. Yeah, I'd go for that surf. I'd try and bring any of the other players around to kind of take in the position of where the Witch Elf and the... Is it a Blitzer? Click on him, please. Don't click
next
on
to
him
the
then.
Witch Elf?
Okay. Yeah.
Seritin Fuddlebearer.
I'm clicking on him, but I'm not getting up his information.
Oh, so, well, he's just block, dodge, movement 7, strength 3, 4, 8.
Yeah. I'd have him in contact with the ghoul. I'd have the witch come round, blitz the ghoul. Be a 1 dice into a 2 dice, but I'd take that and try and surf that ghoul. I then have the 2 of them stay over on the right side to kind of block that off. I'd have all the other players come round more to the centre, try and block off. I do that before doing the blitz, obviously, because do all the movement before the die rolls. But that's probably what I'd be looking at.
Yeah, I think I agree. Percy was saying if it were him, he would have just marked up with the zombies, and then the white would have supported the cage. That white that moves across, I'm imagining he spoke about. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see what happens with the Dark Elves. Let's hit play. Yeah. Okay.
It looks like elf screen.
Just standard elf screen. There we go. We've got the players moving across, which is good to see.
Okay. I think Alban Oldworth, his position there is pretty decent.
Yeah. He's definitely holding the cage, the back of that cage back, which is going to be a pain. Oh, man.
The next guy will go for it, so it looked like they're cannonballing into a swimming pool.
That was really unlucky. So I'm going to pause it there. At the start of turn 13. So let's have a look at that. There was go for it. No, he failed the dodge and then made it using the dodge reroll. Going for it failed. And the dodge also failed. What? So he got 1, 2, 1, 1. That's pretty rough. But I don't even know if I would have tried for the blitz there.
Did he actually blitz in that turn?
Yeah, that was the blitz. He was going to go for a 1 die blitz against the ball carrier. By going.
I think the one.
Yeah.
I mean, the unfortunate thing there is that like doing that 1 die. He does have block, whereas the ghoul doesn't. But even if he gets the ball free, it's guaranteed unless it happens to scatter onto the blitzer, who would have caught it. It's going to end up in at least 1 under tackle zone, probably more than that. But
yeah,
I mean, getting down the ball carrier didn't really accomplish too much. Oh, pardon me.
Well, they just wouldn't have been able to recover the ball once it was loose, I don't think.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of dice rolls. But I mean, and it also means that the witch is just stood next to this mummy waiting to get pummeled. And she's an easier player to remove than a lot of the others, especially when the mummy's got Mighty Blow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it puts them in a bit of a precarious position, because the other thing is we've got this blitzer here, this blodge blitzer, but you know, he can just get blitzed, get marked, and the cage is still relatively safe to keep going down there, mark up some more players with the zombies. Percy in the chat says a turn picking up is a turn the undead don't move much. Might have been the logic behind that blitz. So even if you can't recover the ball might not move very far if they're picking that ball up.
Yeah, I understand that, but like if what you said before about them playing for the draw is the case, then like it doesn't really matter to the undead that it's a turn that they're not moving forward, because their positioning is far enough forward at this point that they only need like a couple more turns to move a couple squares, and then they'll get that draw in. They'll get that draw in the end anyway. Hey,
Jammy Blodger, it's good to have you with us. I don't know if you've been watching the whole thing or not. But yeah, Jammy Blodger says the undead can probably get themselves into position to stall out to turn 16 now as well. And the Dark Elves are going to have to now play for the 1-0.
Yeah.
Or they are playing for the 1-0. So if I was the undead now, yeah, I think mark up some elves. That mummy can get up. He's not really going to do much, but he can get up. Mark up some elves with zombies. Get a couple of blocks, especially against that witch with the mummy. See if we can just move that, shuffle that cage down the pitch a little bit and get it further out of the reach of the Dark Elves, because they're very spread out. They're right across the field here.
I definitely think by this point in the game that, I mean, for the undead going into this half, they should have been pushing for the early equaliser, and then from there, hopefully trying to turn over the Dark Elves with their extra numbers. But with the position they're in now, they have to just play for the draw. I mean, if they score now, they can't expect to turn over the Dark Elves and then score inside of 3 turns.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look, see what the undead decide to do then. Let's play. Yeah. Oh. Interesting.
Okay, so...
Oh, that's unlucky from the mummy there.
Yeah.
I would have been tempted to push her further upfield, and I definitely would have followed. It's really interesting.
I'd have pushed her into the white.
Yeah, true.
Have a punch with block.
It's really interesting that he decided not to follow that block as well with the mummy. She's just free now.
I mean, because she has dodge, she's fairly free anyway.
I suppose.
But yeah, I suppose you didn't do it just so the mummy is falling part of the cage.
Yeah. Okay, let's pause it there.
I think both coaches are guilty of being overly cautious with certain things.
Yeah.
So I think Grimstick in the first half was far too cautious about pushing up the pitch, and then I think Tits and Wizards has kind of done a similar thing with this, because you know, early on in this half he had like the entire Dark Elf team over on the left, and he had a big gap on the right. They could have just sent loads of players up and just didn't take it. He just stayed in the middle.
Yeah.
So I think both coaches are kind of like, have been cautious to a fault.
Yeah, the Jammy Blodger, he pointed out what you said about missing out the second 2-dice block that could have been had against that witch there with the white, had she been pushed into him. Yeah. It's I don't know for the Dark Elves. He also says, you know, if they were playing for the 1-0, he wasn't sure they would have attempted the cage dive.
I think the cage dive was still worth it. I mean, it was a 4+ dodge with a reroll, and then a 1-die block. And it was a 1-die block that would knock down the ball carrier. Had a 1 in 3 to knock down the ball carrier, and only a 1 in 6 to knock down the blitzer. If it did work and knock him down, it meant you know, the undead had to scramble a little bit. The ball would be in a really good position for them, but they still have to scramble, which could potentially mess up their positioning, allowing the Dark Elves to potentially secure the 1-0 there. But because of the way it went, you know, the undead have just kind of fortified a cage. They're pretty safe right now, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's right, Jammy Blodger as well. Yeah, the reroll was burnt on the GFI, and the dodge reroll was burnt on the very first dodge, and then failed the second dodge, which would have been needed a 4+ on the dice. But I don't know if I was the elves here. I think I would just be screening again.
Yeah, I think it's all he really can do, because almost every player, almost every Dark Elf on the pitch right now has dodge. It's something they can just do so easily. The only one that doesn't, I think, is the kick lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Jammy Blodger. Maybe he should have eaten the GFI in that case, but we'll never see. So let's have a look. Let's see how the Dark Elves get on, what they decide to do, if they're going to screen or if they're going to try make some attempt at some hits. Let's play.
Yeah, it's looking like a screen. It's a lot looser than it was before, because that right side of it is not as protected as you'd like, really.
Okay.
But it's a nice attempt to base the ball carrier.
Yeah. Block here. That's so.
Yeah. It's quite easy to make the hole in that right side now, though.
Yeah, I've just paused it now. I think at the start of the turn, I think it's fairly easy to push him out of the way and make a little hole there. Yeah, because the other thing is this ghoul that got pushed earlier, he's got a 2 dice to push the blitzer away, so they don't need to risk the 3-up dodge with the ball carrier. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Be interesting to see if they go to try and score this turn, because they'll only have 2 turns after this, or if they're going to try and reform the cage in such a way that will allow them to score next turn instead.
I'd expect to see the reform. You don't want to give Dark Elves 3 turns, really.
3 turns is a lot, isn't it? So let's see see if the undead give them reform this cage. Let's have a look. The mummy's moving down the pitch. Got this zombie out here as well. He can go and mark someone up. Nice. Oh, that's really unfortunate for the ghoul. Follows up as well, which I don't know. Don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah, I'd have left him where he was, sort of getting in the way of the blitzer. But then I suppose as well, because he burnt the reroll, it does reform the cage just in case something else goes wrong.
Yeah. That corner's open to being hit though. That's the scary bit.
Okay. Don't know if I'd have followed there. I think I'd have moved around and blocked the top end of that right side.
Okay.
Yeah, and the cage doesn't really move.
The cage hasn't. It's not very safe. That's the one thing I'm concerned about. And if he follows, then that's it. You've got an easy 1 dice. So that's what's happening. I'm just watching it unfold. Easy 1 dice. Just the push. Oh, re-rolls it. Wow. Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to pause it here. At the start of the Undead's turn 15. That I was not expecting a re-roll.
I think what must have happened there is that Grimstick saw an opportunity, and he wanted to, he wanted to make the opportunity happen. He wanted to have it work out there.
Yeah. That sucks that because his armor's been broken as well, so that's that blitzer pretty much out of this game now.
I can understand why he'd use the reroll, because if that did work out and the goal went down, then at this point there's a real chance of stopping the undead from equalising.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think it was because that ghoul, it was a 1 in 3 that he was going to hit the deck, and it was only a 1 in 6 that it would backfire. So, yeah, he would have stayed on his feet were it not for the 1 in 6. Yeah, would I have moved some players around a bit? Probably. The Witch Elf could have done with being a couple of squares further to the right. That blitzer
should have taken a push and spawned the ball.
Could have been a bit further to the right. Percy says he probably should have taken the push and then just swarmed the ball. Jammy Blodger says the other option was to 1 dice the mummy first.
I think the problem with swarming the ball is that you're only really swarming it from one side, so there's an easy 3+ escape with dodge.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point, you're just hoping for the 1 in 9 to stop them from scoring, and you know, if they got that 1 in 9, it didn't matter anyway. So you couldn't get every side of it. Was the issue there?
Yeah.
And even if you could, you were giving like 2-die blocks on stuff there anyway. So I don't think there was a way to really cut off the goal there, even if you took the push.
What do you think about the suggestion that you could have one dice the mummy to get the assist? You would have.
Who would have been doing it? Would it have been with the lineman? No, no, thank you. I wouldn't take that risk with. I'd be less inclined to take the risk with the lineman. I suppose the plus side of it is that even if you got a push, you got 2 dice. Sorry, if you got a push, you got 1 dice on the ball carrier. It's there wasn't great options. There wasn't any sort of great options there, because whatever it was one dice, and I you know, trying to start off the play for 1 dice with a guy without block, you're just asking for a bit of trouble there, really.
Yeah. What as the undead player now, what do you think? Maybe he's just trying. I mean, what's 1, 2, 3? You can move the zombie at the top by the white, move him round to give an assist to get a hit on that blitzer, and just start forming a screen or some sort of cage on this side, and make sure that path is free for you to score on turn 16.
Yeah, I think I'd probably try to stick the ball carrier right in the top corner, because you still got 1 blitzer who's in an annoying spot, and because you got no rerolls, you don't want to start off by risking the blocks on him with players without block.
Yeah, true.
So I think the safest thing is just to take that goal, stick him in the corner. You move the zombie that's below the blitzer around to the other side of the lineman. Eventually, in the turn, you will block that lineman with the white, and you've got your other white who can come up as well, because he's free. He can come up. He can either block the large blitzer that's up there as well, or you could just stick him on a corner of the screen or cage that you make up in that corner.
I think I would be quite tempted to take the block ghoul, run him round the other side of the lineman with dodge, have the zombie move up next to the blitzer. One of the zombies at the back, move them round so that the blitzer at the back is pinned. Move my ghoul into contact with that lineman. The white hits the lineman out of the way, follows, my ghoul's still protected. The other white can then run in and blitz the blitzer, and I'd have a bunch of players then who are still screening, protecting the ghoul, and the blitzer at the back is pinned by at least one zombie. You could even risk the block with the ghoul if you wanted, but I don't know if I would even risk it, to be honest.
It would be a very last thing I'd do, because at least that blitzer doesn't have dodge as well.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's see what happens. This is interesting. Let's see what goes on. Okay, so we've got the zombie moving up to give the assist. And the block's coming already.
Where I'd put the zombie. The block's good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have had the zombie 1 square up. But it looks like that's probably where the cage is going to be.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, so that's alright anyway.
Wow. That's unlucky. But I think it's...
Yeah, I wouldn't have... I wouldn't have bothered with that guy. Because, just like you said, you know, you can use one or both the zombies to pin him,
Jeez.
and then at that point then you've got that white free who, yeah, you can hit that Lodge Blitzer who's on the cage to at least get him out of base contact with the other white.
I'm just gonna take it back to the start of the Dark Elf turn. So
Which turn? Turn 15.
So start of the Dark Elf turn 15. Just because I want to see who made the dodge, where they were going to be going, what we think that was all about.
Oh wow, no, I didn't. Yeah, it was just the.
So I'm just coming up to it in a second. Oh. Brilliant. Good work. So let's just stop a second there. So which Dark Elf was it? It was Alban Aldworth. So that's a blitzer without dodge. Oh, the one that was next to the ghoul.
Yeah, the one that could have been pinned, but wasn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've had to rewind and let mine play through just to get back to it myself.
And I guess he was going to be going for the blitz.
So let's see. Was he going for a blitz? So I don't think he would have been going for a blitz.
Don't know why, but it's.
I don't think he was going for a blitz, because if I was going to blitz, I'd have done it with Seratin Fuddlebearer. So
yeah.
If there's any kind of blitz to go on there, I think that blitzer was going to come and base. It was going to come and base Redley Stokes, and then you would have Seratin Fuddlebearer take a 4+ dodge to get 1 dice on the ghoul is what I think would have happened there.
Right, I see. So you'd have taken away the tackle zones to then get that 1 dice blitz.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah. I don't know if I would have bothered. I know nobody else moved, but I think that's just the play, isn't it? And unfortunately, he's just not made that dodge. So at this point, it's just score, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get the goal into the end zone.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a score for the undead. So I don't even think there's going to be enough Dark Elves for a 1-turn, is there? Especially with no rerolls.
I don't think Grimstick knows how to 1-turn within 7. I know I definitely don't. The only person I would expect in our league to know it is Jamie Blodger, really.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else gives enough of a toss.
Is that true, Jamie Blodger? If you're in the chat, would you have definitely attempted the OTT? Other player there was the 4+ with the Witch Elf.
Yeah.
That's what Jamie Blodger says. I'm just watching the setup.
Yeah, I'm just at the kickoff event.
Okay. Ooh. So it's a quick snap. So it's a real possibility for the elves then. It doesn't look like they've set up to do the 1-turn. I'm looking at it now and I don't think it's possible.
No, I don't think it is. Yeah, if it was me, I wouldn't have done it, because the only 1-turner I know is movement 8 with sidestep.
Right.
I don't know the ins and outs of any of the setup. So yeah, it looks like it's just going
a vanity pass
for a couple of blocks, hoping to get some points. Interesting that he started off with the pass, but then I suppose that gives 1 point to the witch, which which then means that if the witch got
MVP.
that was a skiller. Yeah, right.
There you go.
So it's a bit of a. I think that game could have been a much higher scoring game if if Grimslick took if Grimslick was a bit more daring at the start. If he I don't know if he noticed some of those opportunities to make a hole in the undead's screens and just push players through. I don't know if he didn't see them or if he did see them, just thought it wasn't worth the risk. But I think there was ample opportunity to push enough players through the screen and then to get touchdowns quick. And I think Tits and Wizards had like a similar opportunity in that second half when all the Dark Elves overcommitted to one side of the pitch, and he just didn't take advantage by running off to the other side.
Yeah.
I think either of them could have been in a position. I think probably less so with the Dark Elves because they were down on players, but I think the Undead definitely had a couple of chances. I think they had opportunity to put themselves in a position where they could have taken a 2-1 win.
Yeah, I think, like you said before, they were both guilty of playing really conservatively. If they'd have been a bit more aggressive a few times, it would have been just a really different game.
When I say that as well, I think that's like a fairly common thing with a lot of coaches as well. Is that you don't want to risk the loss so much, and I think a lot of people are kind of happy to take a draw if it means not taking the loss, even if it means sacrificing the win. And there's a lot of situations where in all honesty you just don't want to play for the draw at all, but then like you want to kind of ensure that you get some SPPs, you want to ensure that you get some good winnings if your team needs it.
Thanks, thanks, Percy. Glad you enjoyed that.
No worries, Percy. Hopefully, we'll get some more of these out at some point.
Yeah, it could be interesting to do one for the Briars because you've mentioned a few times my awful halfling playing.
I've definitely seen some of your games, and I've been very confused over some of the thought process. So it'll be interesting to do them and just ask you, like, what the hell was you thinking when you did this play? Yeah. I think the nice thing there actually is that I can ask you those questions, and we can actually see if you have any answer on that.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, if you want to do, so Percy says if you want to do me versus Justin from this week, that could be an interesting one.
It is a Justin game, so
it's going to be a slow trudge.
Yeah. If I'll be amazed if anyone scored twice in that
game. Yeah. Well, actually, I can have a look, can't I, and see. So the Marham Tornadoes will be tomorrow.
What's Justin's coach name? Is it Beacon on here? Or does he have some other name?
No, it's Morbius. The schedule. Yeah. Oh. So if you're watching, well done, Percy. Percy scored it. Ended 2-1. The Bordello Flyers Longbottom Briars. That's Longbottom Briars is my halfling team. That's being played at 7:30 today. So that's definitely one to watch.
I mean, if who are you playing against?
Yeah, it was 2-1. It's the Bordello Flyers. It's I don't know what his name is on here actually. His coach name.
Which?
It's Owen.
Oh, is that the? Yeah. I was going to say
Gorgoroth.
That's the. That's the
Bretonians. Yeah. So he's got a guard blocker.
Okay, it'll be.
Sure hands blitzer and a block lineman. Everything else is he's got all 4 blitzers, a couple of blockers and a bunch of linemen. 11 players. I don't even know how my halflings are doing. I should know, really. So I've got my 2 block trees and just a shore feet.
Your halfling team's got 2. It's got 2 disgusting trees.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of halflings. You know, that's it.
Yeah. Jockriaduk Dimmock, he's got shore feet now. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how I get on. What's their team value? The Borderlow Flyers, 1140. So I'll have 130, 270 in inducements.
Just 270. It's not even deep root.
Not even deep root.
Oh.
Well,
does that get you Puggy and a chef though? Is Puggy 160?
Well, I've got a Nuffles Altar. So the Nuffles Altar means that all star players cost 50k less. Yeah. That's the block and decker
If you really wanted, you could take deep root, but no chef.
Deep root, but no chef. I don't know. I think I'd want to take their rerolls off them. How many have they got? 3 rerolls. They have a lot of block though, to be fair.
Is it Zara or Carla that's in this one?
Zara the Slayer. Yeah.
Is she the one that's 220?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
If she is the cheap one, you could take her and a chef if you also spent 10k.
Okay.
How much was it you had? Sorry, did you say 260 or 2?
I think it's 260, maybe 270.
So if it's 260, you'd have to spend, I think, 10k to get it. Zara's the expensive one. Okay, yeah, forget that. Yeah, forget that.
So it could be a chef and I could take a chef and a wizard.
See, everyone in our league really loves wizards. I just don't.
No. You'd rather take Puggy.
I would much rather take a star and have a constant annoying presence rather than have a one shot. But then at the same time, I've watched games where people have gone wizard, fireball on a cage, and then KO'd 4 players in the cage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah, if all wizards were like that, it'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, anyway, I'm gonna let's just call it here. I think. But I really enjoyed that. That was good. We definitely need to do more of those. I was interested in watching the game like that.
Do you have any? How would you summarise, what you saw from Tits and Wizards and Grimstick there?
I agree. Both played really conservatively. They could have been a bit more aggressive especially when it came to moving the ball and getting the ball manoeuvred into better positions. And
Absolutely.
I think that's a big thing that it comes down to is positioning as well. Because there were a few times where I was really there would be in that last game a zombie would move, but would be able to go stand next to somebody and just wouldn't. So there were players weren't being marked. Things like the screen went really out of position at one point, and it put the Dark Elves in a dangerous place where they had so many players committed to one side. So I think just being aware of the overall positioning of the team would have been really helpful to maximise those players when they're on the pitch, and also that in large part fed into their positioning when it came to getting that ball moving a lot of the time. They were both playing, I don't want to, like you were saying, I think you hit the nail on the head when you're saying they were playing to stop the loss rather than try to get the win. Which is a tough one, and that's inevitably why it ended in the draw. I definitely agree. I think to put it into one sentence, I think both needed to play more aggressively. I think both were just way too cautious. Yeah. But yeah, well, look, if you've watched this on YouTube, you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like on the video so we know to get plenty more of these done. I think we'll do a few more anyway. I quite enjoyed this. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do that and ding the little bell so you get a notification when I upload new videos. I've managed to get quite a few on there now. I'm going to be uploading a few more. If you want to watch us live on Twitch, you haven't managed to catch us, you can watch me on twitch.tv/MonkeyJuice123, where I do a lot of Blood Bowl commentary stuff when I'm playing games. If you want to catch Mike, it's twitch.tv/MikeTheRake, all one word, and you can catch him doing all sorts of stuff. You want to say something about the channel?
Yeah, so like there's so most of what I do at the minute is Pokemon randomizers. So if you ever played a Pokemon game, you get like like kind of what you're doing. You get your start, you go out and play the game, but with the randomizers, you get to you don't know what you're starting with, you don't know what moves they're having. It's like it feels like a completely different game. I do a lot of races with that. We do like a bunch of different goals. Like we play Guess Who with Pokemon, and then I do that most evenings with a couple of friends of mine. And on top of that as well, I occasionally do speedruns of Celeste, which is just a really fun movement-based platformer. It's a really fun game, and very soon I'm going to start streaming my MBBL spin games as well. So I'll have those up on my YouTube as well, which my YouTube is MikeTheRake as well, all one word, same as the Twitch. So you can catch all them on my YouTube or on my Twitch. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, for those of you watching on YouTube, do make sure you check out MikeTheRake. I've watched some of the randomizers with the Pokemon. They're quite good fun. But yeah, make sure to subscribe, leave a little ring on the bell, give us a follow on Twitch if you like. If you want to catch when I'm going to be playing, I tend to put a lot of that stuff up on the Facebook page, MonkeyJuice Blood Bowl Commentary, so you can catch when we're going to be doing different things. But yeah, until next time, thanks a lot for watching.
See you later.